Welcome to the ThePPShow, where the DGens come to have discussions. Here at the ThePPShow, everyone has a voice, no matter how long you've traded in the markets. We love all opinions at the ThePPShow, and we hope you do too. Always remember this show is mainly comprised of opinion, speculation, and entertainment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, you dildo enthusiasts. God bless Teddy and G-Merica. One last thing, always remember, talk is cheap. It takes money to buy whiskey.
Fellas, how the fuck you doing tonight, man? It's great to see you guys. Hope you guys have been well, man, as we start the week off right with the goddamn PPShow, man. So great to see you guys. Hope you guys have been well here tonight, man. We got a lot of stuff to fucking dive through here tonight, man. An absolute shitload of stuff. A few dockets have come in this evening as well that we need to take a look at. We're going to take a look at some option chains, things like that, a little bit of the charts. GameStop looks like it's breaking out, fellas. Also looks like if some of you out there were in DJT, it has topped to about $50 a share. I mean, holy fucking shit. Nearly 200%, man, in less than a month. Something is brewing here, man, you know, so it's great to see you guys tonight. So, we got a lot of stuff to unpack here tonight. Keep in mind a couple posts we need to discuss, things like that. This weekend was very exciting, might I add. We have more footage with Pulte and RC as well together. So I do want to analyze a little bit of that footage here tonight, take a little closer look at what's going on here. So with that being said, it's great to see you guys here at the PPShow. So let's dive into it, man. Let's get in the legality. We won't waste any more time here. We'll jump straight into it, and it's great to see you fellas tonight. So keep in mind, man, I am not a financial expert, nor am I a financial advisor. So please seek the avenues to do so. You're not going to find it here. A lot of this is opinion. A lot of this is speculation. A whole bunch of man is entertainment, if you haven't guessed it already. We like getting together. We like talking about the stock, and that's really all there is to it, man. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind, any guests who come to the show, man, nobody here is a professional. So if you hear any opinion, speculation, TA, things like that, keep in mind, man, nobody here is a professional. We like getting together. We like talking about the stock, and that's really all there is to it. So let's fucking dive into it tonight, man. You know I'm itching to find out about Michael's options here tonight. So chat, please give a warm welcome to none other than Michael. All right, Michael, how the fuck are we doing tonight, my man?
Doing great. A lot better after that nice 10% run to save my options.
Yeah, that's looking good, man. I was going to actually ask you, were you playing weeklies, monthlies? What is it? Because it looks like even if you would have played a weekly this week, a $22, $23 call, you'd be up nearly 300%. Wow, what a fucking breakout, man. What are we playing, Michael? Let's hear it.
So I had some SQQQ calls. I've been liking those quite a bit every time it dips below 7. So I flipped those, and then literally on, was it Thursday?
Yeah.
Or Friday, I just dumped it all into $25 calls for GameStop for this Friday. And those ones were up like 250%. So that was good.
Good stuff.
I wish I had to sell some just to fix my car, which sucked, but
I mean, it happens, right? I mean, you know, there's really nothing you can do about it. At least you got a working vehicle now, right?
That's true. I just should have kept like some in shares just to have that liquid, because when you have to sell like the call options when they're underwater, and I knew without a shadow of a doubt it was going to run, you know, either Friday or Monday, and you know, so but we're doing good. We're back in the races, and we'll see. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Again, you know, I do want to take a look at a little bit of the data here today, seeing like that breakout. I think Dragon's going to be dropping in as well. Mongo will be coming out here with Dragon probably about 15 minutes into the show. We're going to look at a little bit of TA with those guys before we dive into a bulk of this stuff. But yeah, man, I think it's looking good. You know, if you ask me, I did not expect personally. Well, I did expect GameStop to kind of do something this week based off of the tinfoil that we've been following for so long here at the show. Obviously, 10/29 is National Cat Day, right? And sure enough, the day before, now we're starting to see something happen. We also saw Friday night. Turn Michael's volume. All right, we'll do. We also saw Friday night. Ryan Cohen also tweet YOLO and then delete it right as we started the show here. So I don't know, man. If you ask me, it's very interesting what's going on here. There was an insane amount of volume on some of these buys today, which we will take a look at as well. I don't know. Could it be Cohen? Could it be Roaring Kitty perhaps moving in again? Very likely, right? But we've essentially broken out of this wedge, and that's why I want to bring on Dragon here at the show tonight, too, to see what he's kind of targeting in terms of that. So
yeah, that wedge is strong. You saw it once it broke out. It actually had to retest it immediately, and then it went up because it had the volume, right?
Yeah.
And that's the big part is even if it has a move, if there's not enough volume to kind of confirm that, and there was like 4 times the volume as normal, which is beautiful to see. Yeah. Also for my options, so I got the main ones I have, my biggest position is December 20th. I have $20 and $22 strikes. I just got the weeklies just because I just felt it was coming.
Yeah. Not a bad fucking play, man. Honestly, again, like I saw out in the chat, Mags actually said, I did 300% on calls in a couple hours. It was fucking dope. There you fucking have it, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I gotta say, excellent work, Mags. Okay, let's take a look here. I mean, it's looking fucking good if you ask me. It does kind of seem like we are starting, even if you see it, you can see the breakout even when you zoom out super fucking far. Oh, my apologies, fellas. You can see the breakout way down here, okay? It's like a little speckle, but it is starting to happen, right? Biggest question is, where are we going to kind of top out from here? Are we going to cycle out again and maybe potentially see $60, $70, $80 a share and the company perhaps maybe dilute and raise more money? Nobody really knows, right? The only person who knows how much cash they need really comes down to Cohen, man, right? But it does kind of look like we are starting to break out here right around these levels. So looks like Dragon just got here. Let me check in with Dragon, see if he's good to come out. We'll bring these fellas on. We'll take a closer look here. Go ahead, Michael.
Also, one thing that Pulte tweeted recently was he said, well, how much would it cost for GameStop to get out of all their leases? And my first thought was like, oh, they're just going to go straight holding company. I was like, man, my theory was that they were going to leverage those as kind of like a place to pick up packages for this e-commerce kind of Amazon thing, and to, maybe as a place for in-person service for things like US Mobile. But then I realized that because of their lease agreements, they might not be able to change their business strategy. So maybe what Ryan Cohen's going to do is actually buy all those properties so that he doesn't have to lease it, because all the big players, all the BlackRock and all those people, they're buying up properties, right? Because that's not inflationary. Mm-hmm. And so they'll keep borrowing money while because they can borrow it a lot cheaper than everyone else, and then they just keep buying up properties, and the value of the properties go up, and then they can loan more against those properties. And so it would make sense that since GameStop already kind of pared down their portfolio of locations to just the most strategic and profitable locations, that if they just then bought those locations, then they could sublet it to companies like US Mobile or do kind of different things. Maybe they could even sublet it to like Lego or something, have like a miniature Lego land or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, anything's really possible, right? I mean, they're fully, not only has the company turned around, in my opinion, now it's time for the company to transform itself, right? That's kind of why you see them kind of cut the fat on a lot of these, like, leases or like these stores that are underperforming. There's really no point in keeping some of these like, vacant kind of locations kind of operable, right? You kind of want to focus a lot of your inventory into the high performing stores, move your inventory faster, things like that. And, it's funny, there was a time well before the company raised this much money, and we're kind of just sitting on $1 billion, and you'd see all these like shills and shorts, and they kind of come out of the woodwork and they say, well, the company is just shutting down stores, and they're going to bankruptcy, things like that. And it's all a bunch of bullshit, right? Company's sitting on $4 billion or over $4 billion. I think it was like almost $5 billion in assets, $5.5 billion in assets. This company is no longer ever again going bankrupt, right? There is no longer any kind of scenario here where GameStop will go bankrupt. It no longer exists. The biggest question now is how they're going to utilize that money and how they're going to transform this company most likely into some form of a holding company or potentially an Amazon-like competitor that kind of, we've speculated to be Teddy and things like that. So I don't know. It's very interesting kind of seeing where we were 4 years ago to where we're at today. And the board did a fantastic job, might I add.
So another thing is Amazon makes a lot of money just renting space. I mean, that's essentially what they do is in their fulfillment center, you just rent a certain amount of space, whether you sell things or not. Also, as far as, so I think that, as far as grocery stores go, right? Grocery stores also rent shelving space. So when Pepsi or whoever it is comes in, like they have their space and they're in charge of organizing and everything. So, GameStop could do the same thing. And it might be just that their lease, the details about their leases don't allow them to do that currently.
Mm-hmm.
But you start because there would be a lot of companies that they don't want to be there every day, right? Pepsi or whoever, they don't want to be the ones actually, running the checking counter, right? And bagging your groceries, right? They would rather have someone else do that. So they rent knowing that they have that. And so having, I don't know which company specifically, but I'm sure there's quite a few that would probably want to start renting space from GameStops, knowing that they would have friendly customer service there to help them with the products and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. No, well said. All right. Let's go ahead and welcome some of these guests on here real quick. I am going to read back some of these tips here. We got Slobo out there with the 10. Appreciate the love with the wrecked emoji. We also got Angel out there, PP member for 12 months. Appreciate your support, Angel, with a black heart. We also got Bill Jeet out there with a 17-month membership. Appreciate your support, Bill Jeet. I'm going to enjoy roasting tonight. Please roast away, man. We got Bill Jeet out there with a 2. Michael stole his beard from his alter ego. We got Bill G with the 5. Michael looks like he wrestles homeless people for cash in his free time. Bill G with the 5. Michael looks like if a leprechaun converted to Islam. We got Adam with the membership for 6 months. Appreciate the love, Adam. Send Ramez back to the 7-Eleven. You found him from PP. Wow. Don't tolerate the racism there, man. You're getting timed out for that one. We also got Bill Jeet out there. We got Bill Jeet out there with the 5. Michael, grow your beard longer. You will be from Bed Bath Q Gandalf. We also got SZ out there with the 10. Appreciate the love, SZ. All right, let's take a look. Let's go ahead and bring in Dragon here tonight and also Mongol. I do want to take a quick look at, obviously, I want to look at some of the data here and compare it to some of Dragon's notes and also Mongol as well. So chat, please give a warm welcome to these fine gentlemen here at the PP Show. All right, what's going on? We got Dragon and also Mongol with us tonight. Fellows, how the fuck are we doing this evening?
What's up? Good, man.
Check. Oh my god, I'm here with Dragon. Dragon actually trades. I just draw crayons. Oh my god.
Excellent. It's good to see you guys tonight. I do want to take a look just at a little bit of this data here, and then I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on obviously GameStop. It looks like we're full on breaking out right now at GameStop. So in terms of the data here, 40% of all that volume was in fact short volume here. SI, I think, is still hasn't 10-15. Yeah, we still don't have an updated SI. This has probably gone up, in my opinion. It is currently at 35 million in terms of the short volumes. Let's take a look here. CTBs, very low. No one's really borrowing this shit. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of these short sellers, I've said it time and time again, I think they're scared shitless, to be honest with you. We got some FTDs. I don't know how you have certain days where there's 0 FTDs. To be honest with you, I don't buy this shit. A lot of gaps here, right? Like in the days where they just claim that there were 0 FTDs. I think it's quite literally impossible that there's 0 FTD types of days. We've been seeing that on Chewy as well. But very interesting nonetheless. Real quick, off exchange 55% with SIBO as well, taking us up 64% there. another 4%, 68%. So we're right under 70% off exchange volumes. I will take it now away to Dragon here with his GME TA. Dragon, what are we looking at, man? I mean, what's the cause of this, out of curiosity? Let's hear it.
The cause of it, well, I mean, I guess I'll highlight the volume, right? Like whatever you want to, there's plenty of reasons volume could have come in, tinfoil or not. With Ryan Cohen tweeting and all that good stuff. So, I mean, highlighting the volume most importantly, which we talk about all the time. I mean, we've seen GME run, and it's always the strongest when we get volume. So we're seeing that increase here day over day, which is fantastic. And yeah, I mean, today was pretty awesome to see it run almost like $2.50 today from open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So no, I mean, volume being the most important here. We just need to keep this up, and we've seen Jimmy get smacked down. I think I personally think this time we can take out some levels to the upside.
So who do you suspect was making these like large buy orders? Because like, to me, it kind of looked like it resembled maybe something, obviously we don't really know if Cohen, if the deal is essentially wrapped up, there could be a possibility why Cohen could buy, but maybe not. Right. Do you think that it's likely it was Roaring Kitty making these buys? Do you think that it was just like a bunch of institutional and also, things like that, where it kind of caused the stock price to go? Because right when we opened, it was some pretty violent and large volume buys, might I add.
Yeah, no, I think all of these, it all makes sense. I definitely think it could be Roaring Kitty. I think it could be institutions and looking at the fundamentals, the TA of playing. I mean, it's at the end of a very large wedge. I mean, we see it all over Twitter and whatnot. It's gaining popularity just from the setup, technically, that it has. So I think there's a lot of potential reasons that we saw the spike this morning, and I wouldn't put it past any of them. Absolutely, I think it could possibly be Roaring Kitty, and I would hope that we could get proof of that eventually, one way or another.
What are your price targets that you're looking at here? Are the red lines basically like rejecting kind of like lines, support lines, or what exactly are they?
Yeah, I've yet to really figure out a color coordinated system that I'm like consistent with, but yeah, at this point, it depends on where we are in the structure. So majorly, this one aligns with they're basically breakout levels or resistance levels that in this case align perfectly with 24 and 26, this one being 25, 30. But when I like to couple these with volume as well as them being Fibonacci levels based on kind of the structure. So it's math associated with volume in the ways that I look at it. But absolutely, kind of just highlighting the importance of breaking 24, which again, it's really been more of the same things. If anybody's been following anything I've had to say on GME since these original squeezes and even prior to, but 24 and 26 being the most important levels we need to break out to the upside.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we break through 26, we go to what next? 27, 28, and then
it really depends on the pattern. I'll outline a couple bullish patterns really quickly that I see potential in. Most bullish being blowing through 28, and we see 32 and potentially up towards 38 initially. This is the most bullish, and obviously this can get extended out. It really just depends on the volume that comes in and the pattern that plays out. But absolutely, we can just blow right through 26, 28. Absolutely possible. Another pattern is something along these lines where we have kind of more of choppy price action, but albeit bullish, where it takes, we find resistance at that 28 level, we pull back in towards maybe 24, and it's just it's bullish, but kind of in more of a channel as opposed to an extreme breakout. And I really think that that's going to be all weighted on volume. So it really will depend on if we get enough volume to break out of 26, 28 when we get there, if and when we get there. Or if it's resistant, we pull back to support, which in this case I think would be around $23 to $24.
Gotcha. And obviously it doesn't account for if we see like some kind of like dilution, things like that.
Not at all, right? So that would definitely affect it. Not that the patterns would necessarily be invalidated, but we can see extremes. We've seen that in the past, whether it's dilution to the downside or an offering closed to the upside.
Gotcha. Mongol, what are your thoughts, man? You got the same kind of like ideas here with what Dragon is saying in terms of your TA, and I'll pull up your chart here for a second, and we'll come back to Dragon in just a moment.
Dragon's got an actual chart. Remember, I just draw crayons. Fuck, man.
Well, what are your thoughts, Mongol, on it? You seeing the same thing Dragon is, or what?
You know what? We're all the numbers he said, they're lining up with what I'm the levels. I'm not. How do I say this? Yeah, it sounds right, man. Again, I just draw levels and lines to see. Fuck. How do I say this, PP? I'm super autistic with this, so
Right on. Well, good stuff. I think it looks good. I think it's promising that we could kind of find certain areas that we're going to break through and eventually run. Right. The biggest question for me is obviously, does Cohen have enough capital? And I feel like this needs to be the most important part of the discussion when the stock starts to ramp up again, right? Because, a lot of us out there, we like to play these options. We like to play these derivatives, and things can go south very quickly. Obviously, the shares, they come up, they come down. Shares are always going to be, your best bet long term. But especially when it's these derivatives, man, you got to be extra careful. Is there anything that you want to add in terms of the GME TA Dragon? I know Michael's going to go, and then I want to take a look at a couple other tickers if we can too.
No, I think that's an extremely fantastic point, the dilution, right? So company is able to file for more and able to throw more into it. So it'll absolutely depend, or it will affect the price action. I would like to think that we don't see below 1920 again. Especially if one of these two patterns does play out and we consistently see volume coming into the upside. But, the timing is everything, right? When and if. I think there's sell signals, which, it's pretty self-explanatory. Dilution in the market, the price is going to go down. It's what happens. Absolutely unfortunate for options holders if it's pre-market or after hours. Completely understand the frustration there. But yeah, this is the market. Let's play it, right? It's if we're going to see systemic raising of capital, let's take advantage of it as opposed to be taken advantage of.
Well said. Yeah, and I'm going to let Michael go. I know Michael had a question, but real quick, Anon here came backstage. He says, today, T plus 35 for the last offering. Very interesting stuff. I was not even aware that those days lined up as of today, but very interesting stuff. Maybe could, in fact, be why we kind of ran here. Go ahead,
I thought
Michael.
It was actually supposed to be Thursday, which is, one of the reasons I was in early was because I thought it was supposed to be Thursday, but there is like a T plus 2 and then a T plus 35. So I don't know. I don't know if I did my math wrong or anything, but do you think the volume, it looks like the volume there when at your line where you have $25 and a bit, like the volume under that was theoretically going to push it past there before the dilution hit. Do you think we have that same sort of momentum that could break through it with the volume that we have?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely possible. While I like to be kind of anal about volume and say you need comparative volume to be able to break through certain levels. Correct. I think it definitely depends on the instrument. I think Jimmy may be, we could, I do expect, a result. We're seeing this increased volume, when we don't see much volume, we don't expect much. But every time we see volume increase to these levels, something happens. Whether it's a massive, dilution and just smacking the price down, or price doing similar to what it did today, which is massively increasing. Time and time again, we've seen something happen. So I do expect something. Whether or not we break out of 25 and it's enough volume, I think is just dependent on what happens at that level, because we could see more volume than we've seen in 2 years come to prevent us from breaking out of that level, or we could see enough volume breaking that level and sending us to 30, 40.
Can
XYZ.
Can I ask you something, Dragon?
Please.
Okay. Is it possible? Fuck, everything's possible in this fucking thing market. But jeez. So like, say they like they have a short from like say like 6 months ago, and they're trying to keep it down at a certain price. Will that momentum try and keep the price down as time goes by? Does that make any sense?
I think so. What I would say, I guess, is it's dependent on like if they're using contracts, which time would be a factor. If they're
Can I
just
reword it like this? Here,
Yeah.
say it's like it's summer, it's July, the price is whatever, $40. I'm a fucking jerk ass hedge fund forehead mofo, and I'm trying to push this down to $20 from that day. I'm gonna do something to try and keep it down that low and aim. There's like a target for them. You know what I mean? Is that a thing?
I guess I don't have a good enough understanding to say whether or not it's possible or not. I wouldn't put it past it, but I don't have experience or knowledge of that, I guess, personally.
Just like, you know what I'm thinking of it like? You know how they have price targets for going up? They have fucking probably short targets, these jerk offs.
Oh yeah, I would not. Yeah, definitely.
And PP, that orange line from last week, that's the one that we touched today, man. Okay.
I mean, I will say it is very interesting, man. You know, like kind of looking at this TA and like where we're at, and then what Anon is talking about in terms of like some of these cycles, like things are lining up here, right? And like, you know, for me, it's like, you know, I utilize TA as a, you know, a tool, just like anything else in the market, and to kind of gauge with what's going on. And Dragon's correct with what he's saying here. It absolutely 100% comes down a lot of times to this volume stuff, right? So, especially with these swaps, things like that, volume is very key in terms of like breaking some of these levels here. All right,
like this white line, okay?
Which white line?
This white line is very pretty.
Yeah. Well, real quick, we got P-Man out there with the 2. Ross loves Trump. We got Beyond Regarded with the 2. PP, have you heard about Ligma yet? Ligma who? Beyond Regarded with the 2 says Ligma balls. We got Emotional Damage out there with the 5. What you do to Ross PP? He's acting like you got him pregnant. All right. So I'm sure you guys probably saw it. Yes, over the weekend, you know, I decided enough's enough. I'm no longer going to be silent. I am fully endorsing Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States. And I'm not afraid to say that, man. I'm not going to sit here and be silently, you know, led to the slaughter, things like that. I'm allowed to have my own goddamn opinion. And look, you know, some people may not agree with that opinion, and that's okay. You know, the biggest thing for me is like, you know, when it came to Ross and shit, you know, Ross is like very political too. He talks about like Kamala Harris all the time. He's always talking about, you know, politics, things like that. But I don't give a shit at the end of the day. I like Ross. You know, I like him as a person, like him on the show. I think he offers a lot of value here. And again, for some of the people out there who, whether you're Democrat or Republican, it really doesn't matter, right? We come together, we talk about the stocks that we all enjoy. And, you know, I felt like, you know, I didn't want to be silent anymore. So again, I don't really see the issue there. I know some people think that it's divisive, things like that, and I get that, but I don't feel like it should be divisive, right? So at the end of the day, man, you know, I think that we should try to all get along here, whether we believe in, you know, certain politics or not. No, people are not Nazis, things like this. A lot of this shit being thrown around and stuff. Look, we can all have different political views. We can still get along. We can still have a beer. We can still talk about the stock and still make money along the way. So that is the way I see it. Unfortunately, some people out there do not see it that way, and I respect that, but that's just my opinion on it. So,
can I get you to look at this too, PP? Again, I don't know what any of this means, man, but like when you look at the MACD, right? It looks like again, you know, when it popped off in whatever May, right? It looks like it just keeps on getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yes.
And then fucking God knows what happened. And then it's actually really apparent in some other charts, like Newell, I think, and other ones. Like this, see this wave thing that happens here with the MACD?
Yes, on GameStop, yeah.
Yeah, it goes like woo, and then gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and then something's got to happen.
Yeah, Newell's a very interesting one too, which I do want to take a look at too. But real quick, I do want to if we can look at DJT real quick, because again, it is on an absolute tear. Nearly 100 million in volume today. It was absolutely fucking nuts. Real quick, we got Crayon Green out there with the 5 PP Show gifted memberships. Appreciate your support, Crayon. Good to see you in the chat out there. And again, if you got a membership for Crayon Green, be sure to give thanks in the chat, fellas. It's the least you can do. Jacqueline with the 10. Hey, Dragon, thanks for coming on the show. What are your thoughts on IE? I don't know if Jacqueline is talking about IEP, but if you are, Jacqueline, we will get to IEP too. Would love to see your levels for that one. Just making sure that is IEP. Maybe you missed a P there. We also got Mike out there with the 5. Michael's a puppet. So is Jake 2B with B Pulte's hand up their butt. I'm going to short PHM if Bill ever gets on the board. Fuck Pulte. Fuck Ramez. Nepo babies. Jesus Christ, Mike. Mike, take a Valium or something, man. Chill out, all right? We got Body out there with the 2. Bro's chart looks like the Kerr Plunk game. We also got Mags out there with the 2. I'm Bed Bath and Beyond. I'm Bed Bath and Beyond ready to get paid, fellas. You and me fucking both, Bags. I agree. What the fuck's going on with DJT, man? A $10 run in one fucking day. My lord. I mean, is this thing going to head into a short squeeze? Is there a possibility of a short squeeze here when it comes to DJT? Or, I mean, what are your thoughts, Dragon, on this? I know you had made a post that potential price targets 64 to 80 per share are perhaps possible. I mean, what's going on here, man?
Let's go.
Yeah, man. No, I think you could call this a short squeeze. I think there's a very good chance. I mean, you know, I would say it's been damn near squeezing since it bottomed out. This is quite the rally from 1175. I think
fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, today breaking out above 43, and it's even my thesis is kind of backed by the significance in this volume that you see here, that came in above the $43 level. I would, you know, with this strength, with this volume, I'd be surprised to see this come back below 43 without taking out 56. Nice 62. This is a massive wave up. The way I look at things is math and pattern based. We would have corrected here and done something like that if we were going to come down. Instead, we are we're headed up here. So extremely bullish. I don't
Jesus
think
Christ,
very agreed. 60 is incoming if it continues.
Well, yeah, I mean,
in the next week, not even.
I mean, we did $10 in one fucking day, so I have no fucking idea, man. You know, I mean, it's hard to say. You know, it's very bizarre too. It's like from $11 up to nearly $50 per share. I know that when it was DWAC before they had merged, I think the top for that was $175 per share. And I don't know. Do you fellows know like how the whole treatment of the merger happened, like with the DWAC like shorts on top of this? And I know there was like with the DJT ticker, I think the QSIP was preserved, so they had like brought a lot of those like old dead shorts like back to life too. I mean, what are your fellas' thoughts on like what's contributing to this? Is this in fact like the start of some kind of like squeeze, or do you think a lot of this is like election hype? That's kind of.
I gotta tell you something. 2 guys that were part of DWAC before, like, or right when it turned into DJT, some 2 Canadian guys are going to jail or some shit for something.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, I posted it. I can find it in a bit, people, and I'll put it in private chat. The guys' names, okay. But I shared it on X at some point. And then yeah, I think I've read some dockets where they're like, did you hear it? Fuck, I don't like talking about this stock. But Troika, okay? So there's like another, and what Troika means too, oh my God. You should look, it's a messed up ticker as well. But I saw like some Troika in DWAC, DJT like filings and some court shit, because they're in court, they were in court too, right? So it's just, I don't know what any of it means, because it's just peculiar seeing some of these weird tickers and who's involved. Yeah. There's definitely some fucking shady shit.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Dragon? I mean, do you think that, what do you think is kind of leading this? Is it shorts closing on this shit? Is it hype over elections? I mean, what do you see? Or do you think it's all just volume based or what? Because I'm just curious what the top is going to be on this. You know, eventually we're going to hit a top here. And, God knows what's going to happen. Like, look, if they're, for instance, Trump becomes president, like nobody really knows what's going to happen with this stock. Some people in the chat out here have thrown out the thought of, look, maybe DJT will merge back with X and then go public again. I mean, would even cause some hype here. So, I mean, what do you think is kind of leading to this? You think it's election hype, or you think that there's something a little deeper here? Maybe it's like overly shorted, like crazy.
Well, I definitely think it's overshorted, right? I'm pretty sure that's been in the news. They've been like kind of fighting that or something along those lines. And it, from a chart perspective, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. This thing, not many stocks will go, $12 to 48 and as quick as this did. Hype or not, like definitely, there's definitely election hype. But the stock also, went from 54 down to $12 in from the middle of July down to September. So I mean it's a very volatile stock. We've seen this thing, I traded this back in 2022 when it was it DWAC? Yeah, DWAC. This thing went from $10 to 175 in like a day. Just whether it's heavily shorted, which is likely. I think it's been talked about. Yeah. This is the most volume this stock has ever seen, outside of its initial offering day or IPO SPAC. Like this thing is not slowing down. Like this thing is fucking flying. Political. Like this is just a stock. I don't look at it politically at all. It's going to $62, and there's a good chance it goes to 84 and even higher.
Fucking hell, man! All right,
let's go, Dragon.
That's what I like to hear, man. Good stuff. Yeah, the options on it are fucking squeezed, man. Like getting an option for it is like a huge fucking bet. The IV is juiced like fuck, man. Doesn't matter. Excuse me. If you're looking at calls or fucking puts on it, the whole fucking thing the IV is stacked. So I don't know. I think this this train could kind of keep blowing along here. So
yeah. Here 1 week MACD. Okay, remember we were again 2 weeks ago, a week ago. I don't know how long we've been talking about this now. Not very long, right? Like you see it's cranked, man. That 1 week MACD is cranked. Right, like it hasn't even popped off. Did it go past the zero line yet? No, not yet. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know what any of this truly means, but I just see the patterns within other stocks and follow some other shite. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah. It's this. Anyways, I won't try and explain it.
Cost to borrow is 10% too, and it's down to very few shares.
You're talking about on DJT. Let me actually pull up real quick because I want to also, while we still have DJT on here, I do want to just take a look at IEP, but real quick, just in terms of some of the data here. Hold on, let me fix my screen here. That's good nuts. All right. Let's see real quick what's going on here with DJT. Because honestly, like when a stock goes fucking 400 goddamn %, man, less than a month, something is fucking cooking up here, man, if you ask me. Hold on 1 second and let's see.
I wish I didn't sell the $13 shares I bought. Fuck.
You bought at $13?
Yeah, remember we talked about this earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then we're like, it's gonna hit 48, and then guess what? It took a little bit. It did a little move to decide whether it was going to do it or not.
It says here 45% of all volume was short reported volume on DJT. Let me see here I want to see those borrow fees that Michael's talking about here. It is tracking up 10%. There's like no shares on this thing to borrow. 250,000 shares there were down to 21, now only down to 200. So I don't know, man. It seems like maybe short sellers out there are kind of underwater. I wonder how many FTDs.
So it shows actually, at least the way I read them, on the closeout date that was for yesterday and today, it showed like 800,000 for yesterday or trading wise, trading days wise, and then a bunch for today. And then it's showing some for tomorrow too. So that means it might run again tomorrow if the FTD thing is accurate.
Yeah, FTDs are piling up here since 9/11, it looks like. So about over a month ago, we're seeing a lot of this like kind of happen here with the FTDs. So I don't know. You could have a scenario here where, the ticker could in fact start to run. It says there's only 13 million in terms of the short position on here. So I don't know, maybe institutions are buying in, kind of causing the stock price to go up. You could have a scenario where short sellers maybe are trying to maybe cover some of their shorts, things like that. But, I think a lot of it too is, people kind of have this feeling that he's going to win, right? And the stock prices, I think, relative of that, right? So I don't know. And again, like I could be completely wrong, but I feel like these two things most certainly coincide together. Can we take a look at IEP? Yeah, we got IEP on the chart right here. What's going on with IEP? Your thoughts on it? It seems like it's just been kind of trekking along. Are there any kind of resistance levels that you kind of see coming up on IEP here, Dragon?
Yeah, so this 1589. So we'll call it 16,
Stop it. Did you just say
16 bucks.
1589? Stop it. Look at this. I have a fucking clock there.
Oh yeah, he does.
Motherfucker.
Right on 1589. Yeah.
So that like 16 bucks is going to be like our breakout. I could see us like heading much higher if we can break that out and keeping on this like, kind of trend we've made. If we do reject there, which is also definitely possible, I think some kind of pattern would kind of form where we, 13 is definitely a significant support level. If we do lose, what is it? 15. Yeah. So below 15, we have like 14 from our anchored VWAP and 13, which is, we didn't spend a lot of time below 13. So
nobody's selling this at this price though. Come on. You know what I mean? It's got this like really nice, from when it hit that bottom, it's just like,
people are still buying.
Yeah. Who's going to sell? Like, who the fuck's selling?
So if we do, if we get over 16, we're looking at a move to 19.
Wow.
On a macro chart, I mean, I've drawn this pattern and gone over this quite a bit of time with people, but we've swept this low. So I really think really the only thing, like our upside targets, especially if we do break 16 or 19, 23, and 27 ish. And like we're following this pattern extremely well. Someone brought up today, I think like the only thing that would really kind of fuck this up really is if they were to do away with their dividend. It'd be like a negative catalyst on the stock, which we'd probably lose all this momentum we've lost. But outside of that, I really think this pattern's going to play out, which definitely has massive upside, above 13. And I mean, we're even near 10 where a lot of us were able to get in.
Yeah, 10 was like a phenomenal buy. Anybody who got under 10 is like well up over their money by now. And yeah, I mean, IEP, I've been curious when we're going to kind of break through a lot of these levels. The fact that, someone in the chat said it's just kind of cruising along, that is kind of what it looks like, man. The stock price is just kind of cruising upwards, looking pretty fucking solid. And again, we're going to come to these resistance kinds of lines or points in time here. But, as long as they keep trekking along, they keep paying that dividend out. And obviously there's a lot of short sellers on this stock too. There's a lot of speculation right now that perhaps Icon, Enterprises is in fact behind whatever's going on with Bed Bath & Beyond as well, which could lead to a catalyst that could send the stock price well back over $50 per share. So I don't know. It looks good, man.
Yeah. 1 week MACD looks strong too. Look how fucking low that fucking MACD went in, man. On the one.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah,
it's very low.
And then when it just did this most recent dip after the dividend, it didn't really dip again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's aggressive short selling for sure. It was oversold for sure at one point. Dragon, I'm curious, before we let you go, we're going to take a look at a little bit of DD here tonight. Chewy and Newell on the way out if we can. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if you've been looking at Chewy lately. Chewy, I've got a lot of tinfoil that we're probably going to see a run on Chewy this week. I could be entirely wrong here, but this is highly, highly based off straight up Instagram tinfoil from DFB's brother. So I mean, what are your thoughts on Chewy, man?
I definitely think there's some upside potential near term. I mean, for the way I look at this is, or most things is like the cleanest way for me, the best way to make money is just waiting for this to hit 5 waves down. I think this thing's going to fly eventually. I even think that near term, it does have some really good potential, even up towards up to 30 ish. I have this pattern drawn because I just think like if we got some reaction like this where it swept again, it'd be the easiest way to make money is like, this is an automatic buy below 26, near $25.
Okay.
But I definitely think I do think there's potential near term. I was looking at like the options data and stuff, and there's room. I think right now we have support. We have room down to 25, but if 27 and 26 hold, we could definitely pop back into 29, 30. But ultimately, I'm waiting. I'm really excited for this downward move to get done. Again, the way I look at this is I really want this to make 5 moves down. And when and if it does, I think this is going to make a massive move up, well over $40, 60. If and when these all really get going, this is definitely one that's going to make a move.
Yeah, I'd fucking love to see Chewy hit $40 this week. Honestly, I fucking love it, man. My calls would absolutely love that.
This week, PP, stop it. Really?
Yeah, this week. Yeah, this Friday.
Like
okay.
This week?
Yes. Yeah. It's
crazy,
gotta be this week.
Crazy mofo in your options.
If it's not this week for Chewy, I don't think I'm ever touching options, period. Ever again. I'm dead serious when I say that, man. All right. Can we see Newell real quick, please? And then we're gonna get into some DD here tonight. We got some bankruptcy docs.
Can I just say like non-TA stuff about Chewy? Go follow them on LinkedIn, man. They're doing so much shit. It's awesome. Okay. Anyways, they're just looks like a good growing company. Look, 11.2 billion market cap. Stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something's going on. They filed their ATM same day that GME did too. So
you want to hear regard finance stuff? I swear to God, people spend more money on fucking pet insurance than their own health insurance. Okay.
I actually believe that. That's actually I believe that shit. Yeah. All right, Newell. What are we looking at? Newell's starting to blow. It's starting to make the kitty ears as well too. If you notice, you have maybe some kitty ears for me there. What are your thoughts on Newell here, Dragon? Are we going back down or what?
So I'm really interested to see what it does right where it's at. It's we were actually talking about this today, I want to say, but right at this like 960 area. So a move into above 960. My target is 12 and a half, a little more than 12 and a half, which I fully think it's able to make this move. It's just what path does it take? Was there enough volume to get this breakout? I think we'll know this week. If we remain below this is what I call a breakout level. So the way I view it, if it breaks out above this, yes, it can trade back below, but ultimately the trend remains bullish above that level. While we remain below it, a bearish, short-term bearish pattern, I could see kind of retracing back towards $8 support, eventually making a higher high. The way I look at this pattern is 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4, 5, pull back, and then it breaks out. So definitely a bullish pattern. Just what path does it take? Is it getting this momentum breakout here where in the shorter term we're headed towards $12 and higher? Or if we remain below, we're going to do some more consolidating similar to what we've done here prior.
That's what I think we're going to see. We're going to kind of see it come down a bit. We're going to see another bounce up, I think, because, if you're kind of been paying attention, this exact move with Newell happened literally 3 months ago, right? The options were dirt ass cheap, right? The IV was super fucking low. And on a Friday, just like it happened last week, it broke through like $2 right? And a lot of these options went up like 500-600%. So I don't know, it's looking pretty good. Right today, towards the end of the day, I did see like at 3:10 p.m. It was right after hours. There was a 2.2 million volume dump on it starting to occur. So I don't know if tomorrow we do start to see a dump on Newell. So again, Just personally, I'd be careful at some of these levels here, at some of these tops. I think that there is some room for it to come back down before we eventually see it kind of continue on. But every earnings, man, somehow they do well, and the stock price just kind of rips. So I think Newell looks good too.
Here, PP, here's your 1 week MACD too. Even though it's doing a little snaky move every once in a while, there's definitely a fucking significant trend.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there is for sure.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll let Dragon give some closing thoughts that he'd like on his TA here, and also Mongol, and then Michael and I will take a look at a few of these posts here from the night. So why don't we go ahead and take it over to Dragon? Dragon, let's hear it, man. What would you like good people at home to know? Where can people find you, man, to follow some of your trades, things like that? Dragon's an absolute legend out there, man. I mean, he's making a lot of money these days trading some of these stocks, man. So Dragon, let's hear it, man.
Yeah, man. No, thanks. Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Dragon Trader with a Z at the end. Yeah, come hang out. Anybody, come hang out. We can live stream into Twitter Spaces during the market from open to close. But man, all I want to say is 26, man. 26. It's all about her. Always has been about her. And we're gonna see her soon. That's all I'm hoping for.
Right on. All right. Well, you heard it from Dragon here tonight. Dragon, enjoy the rest of the night in chat. Let's get some love for Dragon on his way out. Take care, man.
Thanks, Dragon.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
He does good work, man, might I add. He's doing the Lord's work, that's for sure. Mongol, let's hear it, man. Then we're going to take a look at a little bit of DD here tonight. Let's hear it, Mongol.
I'm going to say this. Okay. I kind of look at not the larger market. You know what I follow, man? Just because, the NVIDIA kind of holds up a lot of shit, right? I like to not believe it, but
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna show you something, and then this is what I'm leaving you guys with. Okay, so they have this stupid ETF. I don't want to not talk about what we do, but they have this ETF. Okay, it's an inverse of NVIDIA. Okay, and
oh yeah, like SQQ or something.
No, this one's called NVDQ.
Okay,
and again, it's fucking look like it's like, you're again, how does a fucking ETF squeeze? I don't even know. And who knows how this helps keep up the price? You know what I mean? But this is just, it's peculiar. Okay. I don't know. Again, I'm not a fucking trader. I just fucking look at charts and it just looks like it's very strange, this inverse NVIDIA thing. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, that's I like keeping an eye out on video to see what the hell the larger market's gonna do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, thanks, PP.
Right on. All right, take care, Mongol. Chat. Let's get some love for Mongol on his way out. See you, man. All right, let's take a look at a couple things here. So we're going to catch up on some of the stuff all the way through the stuff that is current today. So we'll start with Sunday, obviously here. Alarmed with the 279, nothing but love and respect for RC. DJT equals a meme stock. I don't know, man. I will say, last Friday, and again, I don't know if he was implying to GME and also to DJT, but I called it last week. I said, look, he says YOLO, and then he followed it up with I love Trump or something like that. So I thought he was talking about DJT. So, obviously I placed my bets on DJT, and thank God I did, because the goddamn thing ran today. I mean, $10 in one fucking day was nuts, And obviously I got a big bag of fucking GameStop when it comes to GameStop too. And GameStop ran 2 today. So I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows what he truly meant by YOLO here or YOLO there, but he certainly said YOLO, and both these stocks ran. So I don't know. It was very interesting, might I add.
I mean, if you think about when Trump was president, he allowed Overstock to do their NFT dividend, right? And they had a squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Biden was president, the buy button was turned off for GameStop. So, I mean, I think that he's aware that shorts squeezes happen, and he might have set up his company to be able to enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, but the biggest thing is that obviously we saw this major fucking volumes come in on GameStop today. So let's go to the Pulte tweet here. We're going to start from Sunday real quick. Let me just catch up on some of these tips. We got Freeman out there, Freeman Project with the 5. Appreciate the love, Freeman. PP's pivot from Bed Bath to alt-right Trump MAGA is typical of the online grifter pipeline. Also, laugh out loud, you baggies begging Pulte for a handout on Twitter. No one's moving anything, no pivot, anything like that. Look, my true love is most certainly GameStop and Bed Bath & Beyond, right? Like my biggest investment is in Bed Bath & Beyond. 80,000 shares invested in this thing. Do I believe it's going to happen? Absolutely, I do, man. The signs point to everything that Roaring Kitty was pointing at. The fact that, if you know, with this whole backstage RC shit, it's pretty clear what's going on here, right? Like this story doesn't just end with us getting liquidated and that's that, man, at the end of the day. I don't fucking buy it. I can see through a lot of the bullshit here, especially with what I'm about to cover here in just a moment with this recent post of the Bed Bath stuff. A lot of this like plausible deniability stuff like that. I can see through a lot of this BS, man. And some people simply cannot. Some people see it at face value and they're like, oh, like let's say, for instance, like this whole thing with like Pulte, RC, things like that. There's obviously some kind of relationship that is here, right? I'm more curious of what is going on in terms of that relationship, how much Pulte knows, things like that. So again, no fucking pivot here. I'm just kind of, again, there's money to be made here, especially with DJT. C. Gilligan with the 2. Any speculation on the Bed Bath hearing tomorrow? We are going to take a look at that. I don't know if that one was pushed to the 26th, but we're going to pull up a docket and take a look at it here in a moment. Freeman Project with the 5. What's more cringe? Michael's multiple GoFundMes, his fake Twitter alt account, the crying at Pulte Fest, or his ridiculous options trading LARP stories. All right. You heard it from Freeman. You got a fan. You got a fan out there tonight, Michael.
A lot of fans out there.
So, yeah. All right. All right. Let's take a look here at what's going on with this whole thing. Freeman Project with the 2. For baggies in chat, another 2 from Vert Dividend. Vert's going bankrupt, man. You're going to see. I wouldn't be holding that shit if I were you. All right. So we'll start with Pulte. So obviously some people, I'll actually start with my post here. I said, all right, it's Sunday. Where's this announcement, man? I was fucking absolutely hyped to find something. I knew something was cooking up here, man. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, perhaps. So let's start with the first thing from today. Mr. Pulte made a post here. It says, today, in an effort to do the right thing for people who have been wronged by overpaid executives, I'm offering a fund to reimburse certain people for their monies invested in Bed Bath & Beyond. While I can't help everyone, I want to help some most affected. Talk is cheap. It takes money, ... Now, Michael, what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to give my thoughts real quick, and I'd like to hear yours. Now, here's the deal. Do I think that Mr. Pulte knows enough of what happens to our equity? Yes, I do. It's my own opinion. He has claimed multiple times that he doesn't. Sure. All right. Let's say the guy knows a little bit. Do I think he knows to a T? No, I don't. I think he knows just not go to zero. Now, to me, this post kind of screams to me like it's kind of like more of like a plausible deniability thing. Like, this thing is going to play out exactly how we've been talking about it for months. And when people start looking all the way around, especially people like Pulte, right? Because they're, look, if this thing plays out exactly how we've been talking about it, the first thing they're going to look at is Pulte. And on the surface, it looks like Mr. Pulte has absolutely no fucking idea of how this plays out. So that's the way I see it, man. I think that he's also doing something really good for people out there. That look, all of us went all in. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how many a majority of you guys went all in. I went absolutely the fuck in. All right, 80,000 large into this motherfucker, right? I mean, Michael, how much did you go all in out of curiosity?
Yeah. I ended up with 207,000 shares. So,
yeah.
I went really
so deep. A lot of cash invested here. So, some people out there went all in and they're hurting. So, I think that he is doing something good at the same time. Yes, I do think it is plausible deniability, but at the same time, I think he's doing something right. And he's doing something good for people out there. And look, some people, he's rubbed people the wrong way, certain people, things like that. I get it. But my biggest thing, that I always look at is the relationship with him and Ryan Cohen, right? Like Ryan Cohen is very drawn to this individual for a reason. And I think it's because a lot of the stuff that he kind of drops like tinfoil, and we're gonna take a look at a little bit of Pulte tinfoil that he dropped yesterday as well. Something is going on here, right? So I don't really buy it that, he's come in, he's grifted this community, things like that. There's a shitload of other communities that, you could kind of grift if that was the case. I don't really see how it benefits a group of people who will, quote unquote, get liquidated and lose all their money, how it kind of benefits Mr. Pulte. So again, at the end of the day, some people are always asking, what I think about it. That's just my personal opinion. So what do you think about it, Michael?
On that last thought, I mean, he has a lot of rich friends. Like if he wanted to do an activist campaign against Pulte Homes, I mean, he's literally friends with a bunch of billionaires. So
Great point.
Sure they could more easily buy the stock than like help us have a short squeeze, then have us, I don't know.
Correct.
I don't buy that either. But I agree. The first two could be plausible deniability. It could be the fact that he's just nice and wants to help us out because he knows that I don't know, that we're going to change the world. But I think that also, he shares a lawyer with Ryan Cohen, and he has been, those lawyers have been working with the Bed Bath estate to get information and hold people accountable and stuff. So I think that there's something there, because when he said that he was going to make a fund for us, that fund was going to be comprised of what he got from the distribution. And so if he's saying that he's going to have this fund for us, maybe it's a hint that the distribution is on its way, which, as far as I've been tracking things, I would say the distribution is going to happen sometime between now and Halloween, which is coming up. So
sure.
I think that it's a hint that the distribution, the waterfall is going to happen, but also once the waterfall happens, then we just get our shares back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest with you, I think this is wrapping up in November, if you ask me. And I could be entirely wrong. I have my own tinfoil because, if you look at the Roaring Kitty tweets where he uses the Encanto image, and you look at when that movie actually released, it was the 24th of November, right? There was something that had happened last week, too, that I thought was very interesting that had dropped. It was like, it was one other movie that he had used or something, but again, I like it personally. Okay, so let's obviously get into this. Obviously, these two were seen together over the weekend. Real quick, why Tyler out there with the PP membership for 15 months? Appreciate your support, Tyler. I dropped over 10K in this play. What the hell was I thinking, laughing my ass off? Well, don't throw in the towel yet, man, all right? Technically, the company could have fucking emerged 3 fucking months ago, right? There is literally zero stopping from this company from emerging tomorrow and basically proving us all wrong here, right? I think there's a reason for the delay. I think that's why that's reflective of also GameStop's price being kind of pinned down at $20 per share. I think that there's a reason why Ryan Cohen's being sued nonstop for nearly 2 years over this shit. All of these things are kind of coming together here. The fact that Roaring Kitty kind of like, showcased our show by using the intro. He's talking about babies, new companies, butterflies, things like that. Like, how more clear does it have to be that this potentially could be one of the greatest investments that we've all quite literally have made here? Something like this, I don't think has ever been done before. And this is what we're witnessing is really like a first kind of hand account. And to be honest with you, I think that when this fucking thing happens, there's going to be new rules in place where this thing never happens again, because it is going to liquidate an absolute shitload of fucking short sellers, if you ask me, in hedge funds. So, yeah, I mean, look, even Doug Sifu is still sniffing around, pissed off and stuff too. So it's just real weird shit.
Also, as a to follow up with some of the DD I shared last week about the gift cards and how those claims have to be dealt with. Well, it's only of the 1,200 gift card claims, it's only about 50 that are valid. The rest of them don't count because they got canceled. But the ones that are valid are actually the store credit ones. And so there's probably only like, I don't know, $5,000 or something worth of those. And then there's the lease from San Diego, which I can't remember. It might have been like $250,000 or something.
Sure.
And then the personal injury, which who knows how much that is. But let's say it seems like less than $500,000 worth of administrative priority claims that have to get out of the way for the credit bid to happen and for the bond conversion to happen. And one docket we just saw come up last night was that they just like they're going to recover some unrecovered funds that just like whatever different subsidiaries have that there's no claim on, they're just going to go claim that money, and that will go into the distribution. And so in my opinion, even though it's just like things here and there and whatever, like checks that didn't get cashed or whatever, like if all they need is potentially like a couple $100,000, like it's possible that could fill up that gap so that the credit bid can happen and the bond conversion, and then the rest of the waterfall happens, because we're waiting for the secondary sharing mechanism to be able to be activated. But they can't. So 6th Street can't just inject more money, right? They had to fight to be able to inject the DIP loan in there, because it makes them priority, and that's kind of not fair to take priority over other creditors. And
that's what they were fighting about with Holly Ellen, right, in court.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but the other thing is that they can't just say we'll be paid last. So when they pay them back, 6th Street has to be paid at the same time as everyone else. And so all this money that 6th Street's trying to jam into the company, it's coming back to them, even though they don't want it to come back to them. They want to do a credit bid, but because there's these other creditors, and there's just how the absolute priority rule works and how fraudulent conveyance works, they have to accept some of that money back. And so it's like, it's a weird, frustrating position, I think, where they want to just get those other creditors out of the way, but they can't. And then it ran out of money of the DIP loan. But luckily there's these knickknacks that might be able to just be enough money to get those other guys out of the way.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of the cram down stuff that's kind of occurring here. So let's take a look at this video here of Mr. I believe Pulte and Ryan Cohen. All right, so we do see Ryan Cohen here, and I think it's confirmed that they were at Madison Square Garden last night. Is that right?
I don't know if it's confirmed. I know that that's where they were ultimately headed. It might have just been a pre-party somewhere else.
Gotcha. Has anybody figured out why every single, and I was looking at this video a little bit longer, I noticed every single person in this room is wearing this lanyard around their neck, right? Why is Cohen the only one without this lanyard on his neck? Has anybody figured out why that is?
I mean, some of them might be. Actually, I don't know.
I don't know if anybody had actually come to a conclusion over the weekend. I mean, I know this just happened yesterday, but anybody on the chat, does anyone know why? Maybe he's like not wearing it, or do you think that maybe he was one of like a large contributor and he didn't have to?
It might be
wear
media stuff, or like clearances for certain. Like events like that. It's like, do you have the clearance to go into this place or that place? And maybe he was just planning on going to the main party. I don't know. Yeah.
Rob in the chat here says, I sold all my GameStop after seeing that video. Don't support fascists. Really? It fucking ripped, man, today. What are you talking about, man? You know, I mean, we're talking about trading stocks here. You know, we're talking about making money. You know, it's not. And again, like that's really the biggest thing I never really understood is that, you know, there's some people out here who just like, I get it. You know, some people don't like Trump, but I mean, I like GameStop, right? Like, you know, if I didn't like someone, it wouldn't stop me from investing in a potential stock or something like that, you know. But again, you know, I do find it very interesting. He's the only one without a lanyard here. So I don't know. Maybe media, like Michael's saying, maybe he's a big contributor. I don't know. I thought he was going to speak on the stage yesterday, but I guess we didn't see that.
That'd have been cool.
That would have been fucking hype. Yeah, that would have been cool. Got another picture of him here as well. Okay. Yeah, so they were at Madison Square Garden last night. We got the PP Blue Moon reference there too. Right on. All right, let's take a look at this video. This is Pulte and RC together.
Talk is cheap. It takes money to buy whiskey. Talk is cheap. It takes money to buy whiskey.
So I'm just curious. All right, what are your thoughts on this, Michael? Because when I see this, it seems like RC is very reserved, right? Like what is this fucking guy like up to? You know, he doesn't say, it seems like maybe he's trying to mouth something. Oh, I think he maybe whispered whiskey, maybe. It seems like maybe he said whiskey there, but he seems very like reserved, like very, you know, because even he said it in his shareholder meetings. He said, we're not here to hype up. So I don't know. He just seems like very like laid back or something. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it, Michael?
Well, one, I mean, just Pulte is a lot more extroverted, which is, you know, I mean, Ryan Cohen likes to just be crafting a plan, right? And working. And so, but like Pulte likes, you know, being charismatic and all that. So there's that aspect, which is good, having the yin and the yang, but also just like you said, that he doesn't want to get in trouble for like hyping any sort of stock, right?
Yeah, I think he's pretty scared. You know, not like scared, but he needs to be like professional, right? He can't. This is a guy who's been being sued over a fucking goddamn emoji, man. You know, he comes out and says whiskey. All of a sudden, there's 10 more fucking lawsuits, man, on him. You know, oh, he said whiskey and the stock went up 10% today. You know, some bullshit like that. So,
yeah, but I mean,
he does seem very reserved.
I definitely relate to it. I'm not like, I don't mind talking to people, but I'm not like, I don't know, even like fast dancing and all that kind of stuff, just regular, like going to a club and dancing, like just zero part of me wants to do that. Just, there's nothing, I don't know. Like even like growing up when people are like, oh yeah, like when you're like a little kid and they're like, oh, let's let you get your wiggles out. Like I have no idea what they had no idea what they meant by get your wiggles out. Like it never had any wiggles in me.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the rest of these posts here. So ABC on the 27th actually had posted October 27th was when Marty McFly returns from 1985. Obviously, today we saw a little bit of a bump. So I don't know if maybe that coincides together. Having a nice corn and steak dinner the night before, right on. I had a feeling about the 29th, man, you know, so it looks like it kind of printed here. All right. Oh yeah. So this was an interesting one that I had seen too. So Pulte had actually deleted this. Do you think that he knew that GameStop was going to kind of reverse here? He says, short Pulte at your own risk. Maybe he's talking about himself. Here's the reverse Uno card, because there was a, you know, if some people were like in these spaces calls during the day, you saw there was like a lot of back and forth, you know, a lot of stuff like, oh, you know, that announcement was bullshit and people were pissed off. People were 50-50 on it. And then obviously he was with Ryan Cohen. He pulled this card. Do you think that this has to do with maybe GameStop today?
I mean, I think a lot of people were looking at how many days from the from Roaring Kitty's purchase, or from the big, or like when the ATM finished that big amount of volume. I mean, I guarantee me and whoever Anon is in the back lobby, I'm sure there's lots of other people that were like waiting for those shares to settle, because it was very clear that they didn't settle. I actually recorded. On Fridays, I'll do like a screen recording, and you can just see that the price will just at the very last second of the trading day, it will just like dip or run really hard because they're just manipulating it.
Yeah.
And there was 20 million shares that traded literally in like the 15 seconds after the bell rang.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's like, there's no way that those shares settled. They just became FTDs, and they were doing that to keep options like ones I had out of the money.
Right.
And, you know, but that means that in 35 days from that point, they would have to settle them. And so that's what I've been waiting for, and which is roughly now. Could have been as early as Thursday, but, you know, the fact that it came in today makes sense.
Yeah. Also, Bob out in the chat said, was RC and Pulte at the MSG Trump rally in New York City? Yes, they were. So it was confirmed. Some people have zoomed in on the actual lanyards. That is where they were at. So yes, that's true. Real quick here, we're going to get into, I think this is Bobby's post here in just a moment. Real quick, we got emotional damage here with the 5. Appreciate the love, emotional damage. Next election, PP's going to be moderating the debates. Right on. We also got Lancer out there with the 2. Why does Moon Knight Grifter have only one GME share? That's a good question, man. Maybe he's all options, you know. I don't know, but personally, you know, if you want my own opinion, I don't buy it. We also got Freeman Project out there with the 5. Doug Sifu is a good guy. If you invested in Vert, you'd be up 52% year to date with a 3.1% dividend yield, instead of still having no money from big Bed Bath bags. Well, just again, like we have not seen this kind of thing play out yet, man. 52% gains, that's peanuts, man, compared to the thousands amount of gains that we're about to get here. So again, 52% is jack shit. Appreciate the 5. Emotional damage with the 5. If you invested in Vert, you are taking dick too. We also got 5 deuce of the 5. Sorry, I've been AWOL, PP. Tim Waltz was holding me hostage in his basement. When I escaped, I was happier than Joe Biden in McDonald's play place. All right, right on. Good to see you too. 5 deuce.
It's
All right.
kind of actually, that's funny that person said that about Vert too, because like when I went on a Noisy Carax's show, like right after it ended, that one time when I went on there to debate them, someone said a joke and I didn't laugh. Like it just wasn't really that funny. And he's like, you should be able to take a joke if I can take a dick. And I was like, okay.
All right, right on.
And so the fact that they're Virtu shills is kind of funny.
Yeah. All right. So Bobby here says Trident's buyback that killed Bed Bath & Beyond expired 1 year ago today to add some more tin to the fire. So it is listed here. DK Butterfly Inc.'s equity buyback announced on October 28, 2020 has officially expired. That was 2 years ago. And it says the company expired its plan on October 27th of 23. So do you think any of these dates have any kind of correlation here, or do you think that maybe whoever's behind a lot of this stuff is kind of obviously seeing like this run today that we kind of saw happen? What are your thoughts kind of on this stuff here, Michael?
I mean, I do believe that the 2-year change of control was not a coincidence, that they kept the business the way it was because that would preserve the nulls of Bye Bye Baby specifically. Because the plan man said that the Bed Bath nulls weren't able to be used, but there's lots of subsidiaries and each one has their own net operating losses. And so to preserve, probably the billions of net operating losses that Bye Bye Baby had, they'd have to keep it the same for 2 years. And the change of control would have happened. So that's where I'm not sure, because the bond deal was made on October 18th. And then the deadline for you got like a sort of bonus if you did the bond exchange was October 31st. So that was kind of my guess, was that the vast majority of the bonds would have converted or exchanged by October 31st. And so that 2 years actually be up by the 31st, which is coincidentally when they're not going to be accepting the gift cards anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think that that 2 years would be that day, but also then there was a bond extension, and the bond extension was like November 15th. So there's lots of dates also with this, as far as specifically Bobby Cat's post. I don't know. I know that there's like the SEC can like freeze shares from trading. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if they could if it's just like a 1 year freeze or something, because it would cause chaos in the market. They might have up to that. I found something, or the AI suggested something about that.
I honestly didn't even know that. Real quick, though, we do have a guy here, The Real, that we're going to go ahead and pull onto the show. He is actually making a connection to some of these Pulte posts here real quick that I want to bring him in just to get his opinion here tonight. So chat, please give a warm welcome to The Real. All right, Real, what's going on, man? Welcome to the PP Show.
Yo, what up, PP? Hey, I was just hinting at his, how Pulte posted that he's giving back to the BBBY community?
Yeah, so right here. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. At the end of it, look, he says, it takes money to buy, and then he puts ... like whiskey, right? Hold on, I can't even see that.
Yeah.
But then so in the video, he does the exact same thing with Ryan Cohen, and he pauses, and he says whiskey. And I'm assuming he's hinting at that, as the plausible deniability aspect that Michael was talking about. I was just trying to hint on that.
So it's like a code word?
Yeah, I think he was trying to code with that. He was basically saying it takes money to buy.
And then a picture.
Paused, and then is whiskey.
Basically, maybe that is what he means.
Because if the picture is the word, right? If it's like buy whiskey, so synonymous with whiskey is Bed Bath and Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
in an aspect, but I think he was hinting kind of like, like, hey, I said it on here, but I put ... He never said whiskey. It said bed, basically Bed Bath. But he was kind of saying it, and then you notice how. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Did somebody say something?
No. You have the stream, I think, on loop. You might need to close YouTube.
Okay, my bad. But yeah, basically he was hinting at that, and I think he was, kind of.
There's 3 dots here too, so it would fill in. It takes money to buy whiskey. There's exactly 3 dots here. So. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I can see what Real is saying here. He's saying that there's a possibility that during that video is why maybe Ryan Cohen's also kind of reserved like that too. I think it was before that too, but I don't know. I think you could have a real possibility here where he says that.
Whiskey.
You see how he pauses?
Whiskey.
Yeah, he does pause.
He pauses?
Yeah, he does.
And then it says whiskey to kind of, but I'm just saying, bro. So.
I think there's a real possibility, man, that you could be onto something there. Real. Anything else you want to add? Then we're going to go ahead and go over to Eileen here tonight.
No, that's it. Appreciate you guys having me on. I just want to kind of chime in on that.
Of course. Anytime. Take care, Real. Chat, let's get some love for Real on his way out. Eileen, what's going on? Welcome to the PPShow. What do you have for us tonight?
Not much. I just came in to support and tell you guys I love you. And, I think we're almost there. It's been fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's been a head fuck for sure. Everybody's fucking pissed off, turning on each other, things like this. I mean, what do you expect, right? I mean, everybody's fucking, they're waiting, they're bored, they're getting stir crazy, things like that. I do think that it's happening, man. I see no other way how this plays out at all besides us getting some form of cash or equity here.
I will say that, I believe RC is a very smart guy. And I will say one phrase that I know: he listens to no one. He does his own thing. So for the haters and everything, like, Bill has been there. He's been around here with us for a long time. And he's been a big supporter, and I really appreciate him. I appreciate you guys. And no matter what differences, I think you guys need to put that stuff aside. Not you guys, but just put it aside right now. I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to regret it. So, yeah, that's it.
Right on. All right, cool. Well, we appreciate the kind words, Eileen. Anything else that maybe you'd like to add here tonight for good people at home? We're all ears, Eileen.
I just think that when in doubt, zoom out and go back to your own due diligence, go back to your own research. And, a lot of people are, you guys are impatient, man. Like, have some fucking patience.
2 years is a long fucking goddamn time. PP's losing his patience a little bit, but he's got to keep his cool, man.
Well, if you subscribe to that this has never been done before, right? If you subscribe,
I think so.
That,
yeah.
If you subscribe to that, then how the fuck you think things are going on in the background, like with regulatory things? That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. Love you guys. You guys are great. Tell Mrs. PP I said hello. I'll see her soon.
Cool.
And yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Appreciate you guys.
Right on. All right, cool. Well, you heard it from Eileen tonight, chat. Let's get some love for Eileen on her way out tonight. And Eileen, hope to see you next time. Take care. All right, right on. You heard her from Eileen tonight. Excellent stuff. Very smart words, might I add. All right, let's take a look here. So I know this actually had to do regarding FTX. I don't know how close you've been following the FTX stuff out there, Michael. But I did want to highlight some dates here. Confidentiality agreement here dated 7/6/2022. This was between with Citadel Securities as well. Confidential global settlement agreement dated 1/13/2022, also with Citadel. We do have Virtue listed in this FTX line of credit agreement, which was dated 3/8. And Virtue listed here again with a line of credit for 7/26/22. So what are your thoughts regarding the FTX stuff? Do you think that, some of these individuals could in fact be going down for some of this stuff over at FTX? Or what are your thoughts on seeing Virtue and Citadel listed here in this case?
So actually FTW also had a post that Spurious brought up recently in a space with Citizen. And so Virtu actually was using Solana tokens to do trade securities, and that drew a lot of heat from Doug Sifu and whatnot. And so I think they're deep. I mean, they all use PwC, Price Waterhouse Cooper, and I don't know. It just doesn't surprise me that they had a line of credit with FTX. I think that we still haven't seen that part of it. They kind of handled all the crypto stuff. The people that had Bitcoin and Ethereum, they all got paid out. But also, just Solana was one of the main tokens. I think that FTX still or did hold like, I don't know, an eighth of all the Solana that exists or something, or a quarter. So, and he usually, FTX was normally doing it in like, not Selenium. I forgot what it's called, but Serum was the other token they mainly used. But anyway, I think that the tokenized shares is definitely Virtu Financial is the main one that's doing it. And they were slipping through because there wasn't clear regulations on crypto. And so if they wrapped it in a token, they could then use it as a short locate, or just have it on their books as like margin to say like, oh, I have all these stocks, right? Like someone actually from our community like looked up everyone that was claiming to have, every company that's claiming to have Berkshire Hathaway, and it was more shares than existed. And he like called them out, and a lot of them actually changed their filings to show that. So there's definitely some stuff on that front, and Doug Sifu is definitely in the center of it. I mean, he in an article from an interview, he actually said if the SEC did something like stop payment for order flow or any of this other stuff, he could just hold them in litigation so that they can never pass that law. So I think he was like the main one doing the dirty work for JP Morgan. I mean, Virtu actually is an affiliate of JP Morgan doing market making for them, which you're like, why would JP Morgan need them to do that? Plus, as far as hiding short positions and whatnot, they're an international company. Like they're everywhere. Virtu is, so they can skirt around all these different laws and all that. So I think he's scared. He's gonna get he's gonna get busted. I mean, even like, the fact that he said his client, Frederick Fakai, who, and good friend, was someone that was a high up, affiliate with Jeffrey Epstein, and his son, that Frederick Fakai, works for Enigma Securities, who they do stock lending. And that's the whole problem with the whole naked short selling is the stock lending, because they're just infinitely lending out shares that don't exist. And so, you take a company like Enigma Securities, which is just a small company, not from the US. And that way, if anyone gets in trouble, it's like, oh, just that small company goes down. But I think this time, Doug Sifu knows that it will follow him, that they'll figure out who was using it and everything. And otherwise, why would he be spending so much time harassing us and everything?
Yeah, I think that, the obsession over this whole bankruptcy case is most certainly highly bizarre, if you ask me. I mean, for a guy who's kind of in his position like Doug Sifu is. Real quick, I wanted to cover some tinfoil here. So for some of the people who were tuning in over the weekend, Pulte had come in at the end of the night with like a quick 5-minute space. He was playing Only the Young, and then he said, wait, guys, you gotta hear this next song. Well, the next song he played was by Leslie Gore, You Don't Own Me. Okay. This is an older song. Okay. 1963. But the thing that stood out to me, and what this is obviously courtesy of Nick Curry out there, if he's tuning in tonight, if you actually look closely, it says Run Bobby Run on B-side. So this is the type of shit that I'm talking about, man. When I sit here and I think about it, I'm like, there's no way that Pulte is not aware, at least to some degree, of how this fucking thing plays out, right? I really don't know how to make sense of this here, unless it's like some people like view it as like a form of trolling, things like that. I don't buy it, right? It literally says Run Bobby Run. So I don't know, he could be, look, the guy Real who just came in here made those two connections here, which I would have never made because like on the surface, you're focusing on one thing. And that's why I love, this great community of different minds, ideas, things like that. Real comes in and says, no, these two, that post lines up with what he's doing when he's with Cohen right there. And maybe that is why Cohen is kind of reserved in that moment, right? I don't think he wants any kind of indication here, or for anyone to sniff out what's about to happen here tonight. So I don't know. You know, at least to me, it does kind of seem like he does know something. Anything about the Run Bobby Run, and then we're going to get into this new docket drop here to take a quick peek at that.
Yeah, no, it's just exciting.
Yeah, I feel like he knows something, man. You know, it's not like this guy knows nothing. All right, so this was a new docket post here from Bed Bath Q. He says, new docket drop. Legal motion requesting permission to recover unclaimed funds served to all relevant parties involved in the case. The plan admin is actively recovering distributable proceeds, including unclaimed funds and asset sales to maximize the value of the wind down estate. This active recovery process means that additional assets beyond what's expected could be uncovered and liquidated. If creditor claims are satisfied, former shareholders will see returns from surplus recoveries, is what he's saying. The liquidation plan allows for these distributable proceeds to be distributed once creditor obligations are met, including unclaimed funds, which will contribute to the estate's distributable proceeds. Distributable proceeds includes cash from asset sales, unclaimed funds, etc., like forgotten deposits, refunds, or checks as well. And as you guys can see here, it looks like from, I think this is from Pacholsky, or Pacholsky's listed in here. It says, please take notice that on November 13, 2024 at 10 a.m., the undersigned counsel for Michael Goldberg in his capacity as the plan admin and affiliate debtors shall move for the entry of an order. Which way did he do these? Hold on one second here. Did he do them side by side? I think it goes down. Further, pursuant to the plan on the effective date, the wind down debtors were charged with liquidating all assets of the wind down debtors and otherwise administrating the plan in an efficacious manner consistent with the plan. In addition to the effective plan, the plan admin became the sole representative of the wind down debtors and was granted authority to, among other things, sell, liquidate, or otherwise dispose of any wind down debtors' estates without any additional notice or approval from the bankruptcy courts. It goes on to say the debtors and the wind down debtors may, at the discretion of the plan admin, use, acquire, dispose of property without supervision or approval by the bankruptcy court and free of any restrictions of the bankruptcy code or bankruptcy rules, which I think is very key in this document here. That the fact that they can kind of make certain moves here without informing the court itself. The plan man also is charged with funding distributions under the plan with, among other things, distributable proceeds. The unclaimed funds that are located down here at the bottom. Let me try to make this bigger. Might be a little easier to read here. It says the unclaimed funds, as a general matter, unclaimed property such as the unclaimed funds consist of rights to money that have been dormant or forgotten, such as, among other things, saving accounts, checking accounts, uncashed checks, telephone/utility deposits, rental security deposits, insurance benefits, policies, and refunds. Typically, such property is turned over to the relevant state office, and the state office will then hold the funds until they are claimed by the rightful owner or subject to the is that supposed to say maybe a sheet pursuant to the state statute? And let me see what this other one is real quick here. So this looks to be an affidavit of services, was also filed 10/27. It says Sonia Akurter depose and say that I am employed by Kroll, administrator of the claims and noticing agent of the debtors in the above captured Chapter 11 cases. On October 21st, 2024, at my discretion and under my supervision, employees of Kroll caused the following document to be served by the method set forth on the post-effective MSL 2002 service list attached hereto as Exhibit A. Motion pursuant to Bankruptcy Code Sections 105 and 1142 to authorize the plan admin and his authorized agents to submit claims for unclaimed funds on behalf of the wind down debtors. That's docket number 3585. Michael, you have any thoughts on some of this paperwork that came in here?
I mean, if you think about the fact that they're doing it, they would have to, it would have to bring back more money than it would be worth, right? That was something when MJL had his, went into court, they said, like, look, we can't just chase things if we're not sure that it'll be worth our time to go after it. So, you know, along those lines, how many hours are they going to spend doing all those things? Like, it must be a decent chunk of change. And I don't know, I just think it's enough to kind of free up this kind of blockage in the different triggers to go through, because there's different pots of money, and they need to unlock the next pot of money, which the judge said is full. And this might get them there.
Yeah. I think that this is most likely, again, you know, this is a lot of the stuff that we're kind of seeing. This is like the smaller stuff that's kind of getting wrapped up as we go along. Now, this one is a week old. This other one right here that I'm about to read, it says the unclaimed funds. I think we might have missed this one. As a general matter, unclaimed property such as unclaimed funds consists of rights to money that have been dormant or forgotten, such as, among other things, saving accounts, checking accounts, uncashed checks, which I think I actually just read this top part. Yes, I did. Typically, such property is turned over to the relevant state office, and the state office will then hold the funds until they are claimed by the rightful owner of such, pursuant to state statute. But I think I missed this bottom section here. The plan defines distributable proceeds as subject only to funding the professional fee escrow account on the effective date. All cash proceeds generated from the use, sale, lease, liquidation, or other disposition of a state property, and 3 cash proceeds generated by the use, sale, lease, liquidation, or other disposition of any property belonging to the wind down debtors, in each case excluding the combined reserve. It seems to me that they can do a lot of stuff without informing the court, and that's probably most likely how they're kind of hiding a lot of this stuff going on, not only via like these HBC redactions that we know of and things like that, but the fact that they can kind of sell some of this like unclaimed property without anybody really knowing about it or reporting it to the courts and things like that, I think is very key here as well, especially the fact that, you know, 6th Street is kind of like the senior creditor here. And at one point we even saw kind of documentation come through that the plan man had to go and seek information, specific information from 6th Street themselves. So I think that's very important too. Like, yeah, he's the plan man for the estate, things like that. But I think, you know, the main person, you know, who's like, you know, ball in the court kind of scenario here is most certainly 6th Street. I don't think it's really the plan man necessarily.
Of Bye Bye Baby, right? 6th Street is the only senior secured debtor of 6th Street, or of Bye Bye Baby.
Right.
The plan man is in charge of just DK Butterfly, which is completely separate. They're only procedurally combined in bankruptcy. And that's actually something that's exciting, is the fact that when you look at what I don't know. I don't think that the plan man was hiding things about Bye Bye Baby. I don't think he knew, because he's not privy to know. The only things he can do with Bye Bye Baby is he can handle claims that come up, and he can handle the distribution when the distribution happens. And so that's what gets me excited is when now seeing that suddenly he's involved with these things that are Bye Bye Baby means that he's only doing, it has to be involved with one of those two things. And it doesn't seem to be handling a claim. It seems to be a part of the distribution. So I think we're at that tail end, because that's all that needs to happen at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you know, again, like, you know, viewing the entire bankruptcy itself, all the things that have kind of been placed here, all the filings, all the redactions, like, you know, for God's sakes, people tend to forget that there was nearly 600 hours spent redacting these documents, right? Hiding a lot of the truth of what's going on here. And, I feel like, you know, they're kind of able to do this if this could impact, you know, the financial markets here. I mean, we've heard it from Judge Papalia so many times before. This is a public bankruptcy. Everything should be public, you know, 100% public bankruptcy. Well, that's apparently not true when all of a sudden you have these filings coming in, especially with HBC, where, I mean, and again, like the most bullish thing out of all of this is that entire docket regarding HBC being redacted. Some people think like, you know, yeah, HBC is bad. Yeah, I agree. You know, I think that there's a real scenario here, but I think HBC was used as a proxy. I think that it's very likely that they were used as a proxy, because what do we see on the next fucking sheet? The sheet where all these transactions were happening. Guess what? They're all fucking redacted, and now they're under seal. So I truly don't think that there is going to be a scenario here where we uncover this before it literally happens. We're going to wake up one morning and it's just going to be all over the fucking news. Bed Bath shareholders made whole, whatever it is, whether it's goddamn Teddy, whatever, someone comes in, an acquirer, and buys the shell of the company and utilize the Knowles, things like that. I mean, for God's sakes, just last week, we saw it confirmed that Bye Bye Baby is still technically a subsidiary under the estate, right? Bed Bath, what was it? Bed Bath TF, I think, owns them, if my mind is serving me correctly. And we know that they are obviously a subsidiary under the estate themselves. So that would solidify that Bye Bye Baby was never technically sold off, right? It would kind of back up to why it was kind of like this shared IP agreement where someone like Dream On Me, right, who kind of like backed this deal, they guaranteed the deal, were able to go and utilize the brand and make some money. And, you know, so it didn't just sit here and collect dust and not do anything, right? So I don't know. You know, I think it is coming. I think that if it weren't coming, we wouldn't see DFE make his return now. We wouldn't see GameStop raise all this money right now. We'd still be waiting. Look, like if we didn't see GameStop raise this money and we didn't see DFE return with all this confirmation, yeah, I would say maybe we're probably waiting a little bit longer, but I don't see it any longer. This is most certainly wrapping up soon. There's a lot of tinfoil around this 3 shit where like perhaps maybe, you know, Ryan Cohen was alluding to Teddy makes Thanksgiving great again and it being the 3rd Thanksgiving. I don't know. You know, that's just my interpretation of it. And then throw in the Encanto memes, right? From Roaring Kitty and seeing like the Encanto being posted and then seeing the date of which that movie launched. I don't know. To me, it's very clear what's going on here. It's not just this black and white bankruptcy and, you know, this happened and the board was nefarious and everyone gets 0. No, I don't buy it. Personally, I don't see it any other way here besides us obviously getting something, you know, here. So.
And Bye Bye Baby through the bond exchange was sold, but only under the condition that it paid all the senior secure debtors, but they indemnify themselves to do that. So that basically is a guarantee, but it's a guarantee that is only triggered once I guess you would say that the plan administrator, the debt in possession, triggers it. So they have to ask them to make good on that indemnification. And that's what's like curious to me is that they haven't done that yet. I'm not sure if they're trying to pare down all the get rid of all the erroneous claims so that they can then, you know, say, hey, you should act on your indemnification to pay off all these creditors so you can, you know, free and clear of all liens, have Bye Bye Baby. But that was the thing that all the shills were saying, is that Bye Bye Baby was sold already free and clear of all liens for $21 million.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, and it says certain liabilities, right? That was it said that was part of the deal. And that certain liabilities, I think, is actually a lot, because if it's connected with a bond deal, there's a lot of indemnification that happened, like billions of dollars potentially. Yeah.
Maui, or I was going to respond to Maui in chat, but I'll just respond to you here. Maui says that PP, why is the plan man suing HBC then? The reason the plan man is suing HBC is because he is trying to claim back as much money as possible surrounding this entire thing. He basically has a sheet of paper in front of him. He has X, Y, and Z all the way down, where he's basically going through the list, suing, trying to reclaim as much money as possible, things like that. To be honest with you, the fact that a lot of this stuff is redacted, the fact that the plan man, and again, this is in dockets that we've seen even merely a few weeks ago, we saw the plan man have to request from the judge certain information from 6th Street. Okay. This is not like a scenario where just the plan man is aware of everything going on. He has one task, one duty: come in on behalf of the estate and try to reclaim as much cash as possible. That is it. He doesn't give a shit about your theories. He doesn't give a shit about what you believe. He's looking right on the fucking plan that he sees, and it says he's going down this list. And that's why, you know, when some people out there, and again, like, you know, don't get me fucked up, I don't like the plan man. I do think he's kind of an asshole, like low key. But that's why you see him kind of take this stance when investors, shareholders, like, email him, and he, you know, they're like, well, what about X, Y, and Z? And he's literally regurgitating the same plan over and over again. Your shares were effectively canceled, yada, 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 which we all know that, right? The old equity is the old equity. It's done, right? The thing that is the most important thing that comes next is who the buyer is in this entire deal, whether they come in and they acquire certain set pieces or they acquire the entire shell itself and they merge it into something, we go public again, or maybe we go blockchain. Nobody really knows what comes next, right? But one thing that we've read throughout these dockets is that they fail to monetize these nulls. And one of the things with monetizing nulls is instead of preserving these nulls, right, they basically they take the nulls and they apply them to previous creditors and stuff like that. That is not what we saw happen. They even stated it in the Gibbons case as well, in the whole Gibbons docket. They said because of the speed of this bankruptcy, we were unable to monetize these nulls. Therefore, they were preserved, right, in bankruptcy. And if they are preserved, then they have to take creditors and also shareholders like ourselves to retain 51% of the new co when we get issued shares. So yes, I think that that's the most likely scenario that's happening here. There's a lot missing throughout this entire bankruptcy because of the redactions, because of the changes they made to certain things regarding this. So again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me if this plan says that our shares are effectively canceled, so long as we have a buyer that comes in at the end of the day to basically acquire the shell, to acquire the nulls, and basically make us whole here, which is still the thesis. And look, was speaking with Fox and Flask as well, who has a history in a lot of these like distressed kind of Chapter 11 cases. Even according to him, if Bye Bye Baby is still owned under this estate, it most certainly gives a little bit of leeway, right, for someone to come in and potentially acquire this thing with as of right now. So I don't know. It's all up in the air. No one really knows how it's going to happen. When David Simpson used to come at this show, and I know some people don't like David Simpson, David Simpson used to come onto the show. And one thing I really liked about David Simpson is his knowledge about Carl Icahn. And one of the things that stuck with me out of all the hours that we spent with David Simpson here at the show, the number one thing that stuck with me is when he said, when it comes to Carl Icahn and how he performs takeovers, he does not utilize only one door. He will utilize at least 3 or 4. Okay. So that if one door shuts, he's got another 3 that he could potentially go in. If 2 doors shuts, he's got another 2 on the side here. So I do think that Carl Icahn is involved. I think Ryan Cohen's involved. I think you do have some potential where there could be even more companies involved here. We've seen the ATMs on the same days. We've seen certain things be alluded to here. And again, if it's a major holding company, sure, it's gonna need a lot of companies behind it. But I think confidently, I do believe that Mr. Icahn is potentially involved behind this entire thing. So that's the way I see it.
So it reminded me, remember when you asked the plan man whether he represented 6th Street?
Yes. Yeah. He told me he did not.
Right. So that's the thing is that the plan man, if he says your shares are gone, he speaks on behalf of DK Butterfly.
Correct.
Your DK Butterfly shares are gone, but there's a completely separate company where the debtor in possession is 6th Street, and that's Bye Bye Baby.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamonis said when he got there, he says ever since he has been there, BBBY has represented Bye Bye Baby. And so that's the thing is that, the plan man can say all day that our DK Butterfly shares are gone, our Bed Bath shares are gone,
mm-hmm.
but our Bye Bye Baby shares that were indemnified to, so they were, that they would be delivered. That money was already like set aside and everything.
Yeah.
As it just had to be untangled. And so, that's just kind of an interesting point is that our DK Butterfly shares can be gone, but the separate company that we have interest in, which is Bye Bye Baby, those shares are not gone. And we don't see 6th Street coming out and saying your shares are gone. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like great fucking point there as well regarding the plan, man. Real quick, we got some tips here. We got Wally Buck out there with the 5. Appreciate the love, Wally Buck. PB, tell us the story of your past venture in dildo e-commerce. Is that actually a real thing or is it just a meme? We've sold many dildos, man. There was one specific guy, a weird fucking guy, ordered 10,000 dildos in one order, man, and bought our whole fucking inventory one night. Never heard from him again. I'm always curious still to this day where those 10,000 dildos went. We got Argentum out there there with the 2. Pulte is noise. Keep following the signal. We also got the Freeman Project with the 2. Vert is fine. Failed Dr. Michael is delusional. Michael's onto something here. Lancer with the 2. If RC overpaid $1 billion, if RC overpaid $1 billion on utility bill. What do you mean, Lancer? Overpaid for the utility
that's
bill.
actually hilarious because, like, yeah, if he like overpaid the bill, right, and so then the money's just there, right? That's actually hilarious.
That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, I've never heard that before. Wow. All right. So obviously the Wu-Tang tinfoil is popping up again. This was at Madison Square Garden yesterday. And again, like, why the fuck is there a Wu-Tang ice cream truck here, man? I mean, this is the weirdest shit. Look at this shit. Like, isn't that fucking crazy? It is a full-on Wu-Tang truck. 36 flavors they were selling here at Madison Square Garden. I don't know, like, maybe I don't like maybe I don't go out enough, maybe, and like knew about a Wu-Tang ice cream machine. Is this the first time you're hearing about a Wu-Tang ice cream machine like I am, or what, Michael?
Yeah, I've been pretty confused because I know the Twitter page that's like Wu-Tang for the Children has been very anti-Trump. So,
I didn't know that.
But I don't know that like it has to be specifically political. I think that you know, some people do get their panties in a bunch or whatever and can't be adults sometimes. I don't think that Ryan Cohen or Pulte are like, oh, you're either going to toe the party line or you're out, right? Like I neither of them seem to be that way. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. I did watch an interview with the Wu-Tang Clan and about politics and who they endorse, and it did make sense to me that they would have been kind of the Trump side of things, but then seeing the Wu-Tang for the kids,
it's real weird, man.
I have no idea. Yeah.
And again, like, you know, tinfoil, whatever the fuck it may be, there was a lot of B reference too in Rory Kitty's memes as well. And sure enough, you know, now we have the Wu-Tang like ice cream machine. So I don't know, weird stuff, might I add. All right. In terms of the clearinghouse, this was actually a really important one too. Axos clearinghouse bites the dust. Will this start a wave of broker dealers faltering? This was on the 24th, actually. I don't know if maybe that this is reflective of what's going on today as well. When was the 24th? Was that Friday? No, that was Thursday. It says here, it says effective Thursday. Oh, my apologies. So actually this could actually lead up to what Kinky was talking about too. If they're getting like some kind of like clearing notice here, because there's some tinfoil over the 31st, which is Halloween. It says effective Thursday, October 31st, the following account will withdraw from the membership in the comparison services of the Government Securities Division, the GSD, Axos Clearing LLC. Very interesting stuff. Any thoughts on this one, Michael? Regarding the DTC?
No. I mean, I was kind of looking into actually, it wasn't Axos. Never mind. The one that it was actually, oh shoot. The one that actually caused the buy button to be turned off starts with an A. Apex Clearing.
Oh yeah, Apex. Yeah.
I was looking into that actually a little bit more, revisiting that to see who all was involved there. But no, I don't have any other thoughts.
Okay. All right. Sorry, give me a second here. All right. So obviously some people out there saw Pulte posting the Teddy books again. What are your thoughts here? Do you think that he's alluding to something potentially? Your Christmas is almost here. I encourage everyone, if you have kids or nieces or nephews, check out the Teddy books. You think he's just trying to get people to buy the Teddy books to support Cohen? You think it's nothing, or you think he's still alluding to potentially Teddy here?
I mean, I kind of got the vibes that it's like if Teddy comes as a dividend to Bed Bath or GameStop, or whether Bed Bath is Teddy, I don't know. Either way, I'm sure GameStop's going to get it as a dividend. So it could be like, buy GameStop now because that will be your access to Teddy because it's like Christmas is coming soon. So it's like the end of this plan is Christmas, and if you get GameStop, then you'll get Teddy shares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Teddy's a very real possibility here. All right, I think there's one or two more posts, and we'll call it a night here real quick. According to UCopy says according to that post that we just read, UCopy says sounds like a waterfall and a recovery are coming to the Bed Bath & Beyond shareholders. If the creditors are satisfied with the claims, what an interesting timing as GME and AMC are about to enter their rally phase. What's in the box? Very exciting to open the box soon. I think the box will literally be our baby shares, if you ask me. And look, some people, like, I always see it from time to time too. Like, there's a lot of people who watch the show who aren't invested at all in Bed Bath. They're all like GameStop investors too. I think we're all going to make it all at once. I do truly believe that GameStop, IEP, and Bed Bath & Beyond are very much intertwined. That doesn't mean that, just because AMC is not a part of whatever deal is going on here, that it's not also going to rip with the basket. Sure, every stock in the basket is going to rip, right? I truly believe that, kind of seeing everything kind of unfold here as things are kind of wrapping up. And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter if you're just solely a GameStop investor or you're just a Bed Bath investor. I truly think that all of us, man, are going to get a multitude of some of these shares here. Go back to what like Larry Chang was saying. Larry Chang was making it very clear. These paper gains that you have been dreaming up for years suddenly become a reality. I mean, he is out here pretty much warning people, look, when you suddenly become absolutely fucking stinking ass rich because you fellows were right, okay? Don't go and just fucking put it all into the next fucking slot machine, man, and start over again, right? We got people to help. We got funds to build. We're going to change the goddamn world, man. And I'm telling you guys, the people who are crazy enough to believe that they can change the world are usually the ones who do. And that is a goddamn fucking fact, man. So again, heed Larry Chang's words. Don't go and put it into the next thing. Now, that doesn't include, obviously, things like GameStop, IEP, stuff like that. I mean, you got me fucked up if you don't think I'm putting at least half my net worth across GameStop, IEP, shit like that. Abso-fucking-lutely. Larry, I mean, sorry, man, but I got to be real with you. I'm putting a lot of it into GameStop, right? And IEP, like, I want to be the dividend king. But he's right. I don't think he's really talking about some of these certain stocks. I think he's really talking about going and losing it all to like Wall Street bets or something like that, in my opinion. All right. We got an exciting day tomorrow. Obviously, it's National Cat Day. All right. Tomorrow marks the 29th. This is the day that Avocado in your anus usually makes those posts. According to Bobby, he says, son of a bitch. So it's really, really tomorrow this time. Obviously, GameStop has moved up $2. There is something kind of transpiring here. There's a lot of activity coming in across these contracts as well. So might I add, I think tomorrow we could see something potentially go down all the way, I think, through the Halloween date as well. This is obviously the post from Roaring Kitty's meme. He does have Never Tell Me the Odds listed here, which I think is one of them. Yeah, right here is Never Tell Me the Odds, which is listed here with one of those posts. But this Avocado in my anus always posts on Cat Day, which is the 29th. So I don't know. It could be a potential hype date, potentially look forward to. Do you think that we could see something happen on that date, Michael? Would love to hear it.
I mean, as far as GameStop, I think that's a lot easier for them to guess when the hype dates are going to happen. And I mean, I think that the volume that it was 20 million shares that right at the bell, plus like when you look at like how much was short volume and everything. I mean, there's still at least half, like still another, like there's 13 million traded today for GameStop. There's still probably the same amount that has to be traded tomorrow to cover those shorted shares. So I think we're going to see volume. I hope it gets even bigger. I hope that tomorrow we see the volume double again, which I think is totally possible. Yeah,
100% agree. The volumes will start to ramp up, right? Like you kind of see it across the market. And one thing that's piqued my interest too, everybody is so fixated right now on DJT ripping to $50, on GameStop being at $22. No one's paying attention to Chewy, man. I'm telling you, I really do think that Chewy's going to catch a lot of people off guard. All of our attention, that's just how the Kansas City Shuffle happens all the time, man. These guys know it. All of our attention is this way. And I'm telling you, I think something's going to happen with Chewy potentially maybe this week. And again, I could be wrong. Don't go out and buy calls on this shit. Don't go out and fucking buy stock and stuff like that just off my word. I have a feeling, okay? I like the tinfoil. Okay, most of the tinfoil does kind of tend to come to fruition if you kind of pinpoint it in the right way. Kevin Gill kind of posting his dog and the bears beware and this Halloween type thing. Like if you notice, he's been going to all these Halloween type things. So I think he is alluding to Halloween, which is the 31st. The IV is super low when it comes to Chewy as well. I think a lot of people are focused on GameStop, DJT, some of these other stocks are running. I do think that we could see maybe something go down with Chewy this week. And I hope that I'm right, man. Like I said, I got calls on it. So I'd like for it to happen.
Me too.
Bobby, real quick with this post, he says, holy shit, the 11-1 $21 calls in the last minute of trading today had 576 K in premium, 2762 in total volume with 2678 at the ask. Very interesting stuff. I think he has I think this video might be too small. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is right here. That is a lot of buying, man, when it comes to the ask on GameStop. Let me take a look at his other data that he has here. Yeah, it looks like a whale has moved in on these calls. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Like, you typically see this kind of happen. You see like a spike. There was one time, and again, I don't know if this is DFE. Maybe it's like a big whale too. But when it came to something that I've seen like this before, we've seen this really big spike where a whale will buy up all these calls, immediately dump them, right? Sending the price down, and then they immediately buy it again. And then you actually see the real rip happen. So I don't know, could it be a fake out incoming? Who knows, right? I mean, this whole fucking play is like a Kansas City Shuffle. We try to keep up. We try to figure out, but these guys are light years ahead of us, man. So again, be careful chasing some of this whale volume. Yeah, you get burned very quickly. Go ahead, Michael. Any thoughts on this? We're going to bring in.
No, it's just exciting.
Yeah, it's looking good, honestly, if you ask me. I'd love for a lot of this stuff to start to play out here. All right, let's go ahead and bring in 10 Shorts real quick. 10 Short's going to do some like very brief TA on his way out. If anybody wants to stick around. If not, we'll see you guys next time. So chat, please give a warm welcome to 10 Shorts. All right, what's going on? Good. 10 Shorts. Let's hear it, man. What do you have for us in the chat here tonight on our way out? Let's hear it.
It's very simple. It's just, I'm not really going to talk much. It's just, you'll see. It's just trend line stuff. I'm sure Michael will appreciate it. So these are just daily candles, and this is all the way back in 2021. And I want you to pay attention to that top yellow line. That's the wedge. Okay. Then those orange lines. See, it's bouncing. Yep. They keep trying to press it down.
Yep. It never breaks through that very bottom one.
It has a really hard time with it. Then when it does, it'll like sink way down. And
what is that? $20 base level or what?
Oh, because it goes even lower. This is like 2022 now. That was June of 2022. And then this is just to give a sense of like, where the relevance for these lines comes from. And then you're getting into 2023 again. It's like really like it's like accordioning through this.
Yep.
And then 2023, it'll make sense when I get to the end, but like big spike on earnings. And then it's starting, these downtrends are pressing farther and farther down. And then you start to see when it breaks these downtrends, you start to see little pops. So like, yeah, that was last December when on 60 million volume it shot up, and then this is into 2024. And then you see it kind of get pressed down. And that was the big earnings in March drop off, and then this is May where it's shooting up, and then it shot above all those.
Holy mama!
I know. Don't worry. And then wait till the end. This is the.
Oh man, we're due for a huge breakout here.
Oh, look at that, dude. Okay, so look at that. Yeah. So look at that top yellow line that it just broke out of.
Yep.
And then if I click on it, you see those points are there.
Yes.
It literally connects all the way back to
Which one?
the very, very peak of January, whatever. Look at that.
No shit.
Yeah,
See, people don't
So
believe
it
in TA,
actually
but
does.
it's not a
yeah, and
coincidence.
so like
Wow.
I'm gonna post it on Reddit tomorrow. But like if I click that, you can see down there those blue things. That's where the points are. Like so what we've been fighting in the last 6 months, every time that we hit that top line, like there, and then now here we pop out of it. Like that shit is literally like 4 years old. It's like from all the way back in 2021. And then you see today, this is 1 minute candles. As soon as it gets above that, I just moved it by accident, but as soon as it gets above that, you see a fucking rip.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I think it might stagnate for a week, honestly. I think the Bollinger Bands, it needs to kind of come back down, but like, I think we're absolutely due for another rip. And this is the same thing that happened, back in May, where it broke out of these, big falling wedges, and then it fucking slingshots, right? Like there's a reason they short it so much, and it's to keep it below those levels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was it.
Do you think we hit 25 by the end of the week?
Well, so
Michael's options want to know.
Well, wait, Michael, did you buy 25s today too? Did you see what I put in chat? Like I posted it on Reddit today on the r/GME, but I bought 25s like down here for like $17 each or something, like Canadian, and then now they're up like 495%.
I literally was gonna buy this morning, and then there was like no volume in pre-market, and I was like I only had like a couple $100, and I just I ended up not doing it because I was like, well, I don't want to just be all in. If it's not running in pre-market after Ryan Cohn's tweet and everything, it's probably not going to run. And then it just starts ripping. And I'm like, now the IVs are high, and I'm like, great.
Yeah, now you get priced out. It's funny. I was looking at it last night. I went to bed late last night, and I was actually looking at the option charts, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy these 22s this week. I'm going to do it. And then next thing I know, I fell asleep and I woke up and it was already too late. But if I had woken up in time, I most certainly would have bought the 20s right at open.
Look at that though. Like on the pump on Friday, it wicks away from that line I was talking about. And then today it breaks it, tests it perfectly. And then it's, off to the races from there.
Yeah. It's really the biggest question. Yeah.
I think it's going to.
Are you there, Jen Shorts?
The feds got him.
The dog scared him off.
I wonder if it might come down and retest because it broke through. It tested as it hit it, and then it went and broke through. Theoretically, it would have to come down. Not have to, but it might come down and have to retest that.
Yeah.
If it does, though, I'm definitely gonna then jam that couple $100 in and with some options.
Yeah, I mean, again, who knows really what the stock price is going to obviously rip to. I think we got Shorts back in here. Shorts, what's going on, man?
Yeah, no, just the last thing I want to say because I'm wrapping up. But I think it's going to do what it did back in May, where basically I'm just turn my stream on just for 2 seconds, but it, because it broke the same thing, where it broke a big falling wedge that kind of stagnated for a little bit, and then on that Friday, it ripped up from 12 to $17 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, dude, that fucking day, man. I was looking at the $34 calls, and it was the highest strike they were offering for next week. And they were like $35. And then by the time it opened on fucking Monday morning, they were like $800. And I was just like, oh my fucking God.
Yep.
So I think we got a little bit of time, but at the same point in time, if it just broke that massive fucking trend line that it's been, bouncing off of for 4 or 5 months, who knows, right? That's the beauty of this thing, but I'm excited either way.
Yeah, it looks good. Honestly, the chart looks great. Anything else you want to add? 10 Shorts. I like the different kind of TA, man. Like Mongol has his own TA, Dragon, 10 Shorts has his own. I like everybody's TA. I think it's all a little bit different,
The last thing is just these are Jesus, can't speak. These are Fibonacci lines kind of pulled from the recent, swing high, swing low back here in July. Yeah. And you see kind of, the red ones represent, stronger resistance. And then we're touching right on one of them. And, if we're out of that downtrend and we're about to, go past this one. Like I've been watching, GameStop for about a year now with these, trend lines that I've drawn. And when I tell you, on the 1 minute chart, when it's, breaks above some of them, it's pretty incredible to watch just how relevant the price action is after. So I think look for, breaking, $23. And if we see something big, then, maybe Michael's calls will make it so he doesn't have to live in his car anymore.
Yeah, let's hope so. Right on.
My hope is that like tomorrow or Wednesday, hopefully tomorrow, it hits like 25, and then I'll exit out of all of my ones that expire this Friday, and then when it comes back to retest, then I'll jam it back in.
I think that maybe
I don't think it'll retest. I think there's so much momentum. I think
you don't think so?
No, because it didn't last time. Where basically once it broke out of because we talked about how this is like an accelerated kind of 3-year pattern that we saw before. So I think it's got a lot of fucking momentum. I think we saw the first steps where last time it did this, it kind of the same thing where at 10% and like 40%, and then it was fucking 200-300% in a couple of days. So I don't think there is a retest. I think it's on too big of a scale for there to be a retest. I think all the testing that was done was when it's bumping on the bottom of the line, and I think it went way too far above it. I think the retest we saw was actually right there, where basically where the candle kind of wicked back down to.
Actually, I guess it did have a small retest if you go to like the 1 minute chart or something.
Or the 1 hour look, yeah. I think that's all the really testing you need. Because we saw him reject it there, and then you retest there. So I'm excited. Yeah. All my friends with calls are excited. I think it's gonna be a good week. Good few weeks.
Excellent.
All right.
Same.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, you heard it from 10 Shorts. Enjoy the rest of the night, 10 Shorts. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Chat, let's get some love for 10 Shorts on his way out. What's going on for the Win Purple? Welcome to the PPShow, man. What do you have for us tonight, my man?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
How does my mic sound, by the way?
Sounds great.
Yeah, actually does.
Yeah, it's high quality.
Nice. I'm actually in a studio. Sorry there's no camera. It's like a pure audio studio.
No, it's cool. You sound good, man.
Oh, wonderful. I just wanted to say that I'm just tired of charts, man. I cannot wait to never see a goddamn chart ever again.
That'd be nice, right?
Please, God.
Yeah.
No more lines.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it helps maybe. I mean, maybe to expect maybe something coming up or something, right? I mean, I don't know. I think like it's like a good tool to use maybe, but I don't know. That's my thoughts on it.
I'm just so happy we never have to see a down chart ever again, man. Because like why do we look at charts in the first place? It's because we want to speculate on a price, but like in the 4 years, it's just been constantly looking at this goddamn green, goddamn red.
True.
Let's get it over with, please.
Yeah, I guess it's to like gauge like volumes and the RSIs and like like not. It's true. Like not every piece of TA. If TA was like the number one thing, you'd have basically no one in the world ever working again. They just look at a chart and be like, yeah, here you go. I made $100,000. I think it's a good like tool to use at the end of the day. RSI, looking at these volumes, things like that, and just tracking back like. As we know, a lot of these like systems, a lot of how these stocks are traded are like algo driven. Obviously, we saw a lot of Aladdin type stuff, which I think is like the Aladdin, type of algos that they typically use here that Roaring Kitty alluded to. But no, I can't wait to never see another goddamn chart again and take a long vacation after this. That's for sure, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add tonight for the Win Purple as we wrap up, man? We're all ears here tonight. What would you like good people at home to know?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Michael.
Hey, no problem.
All right, cool. You heard it from Further Win. Take care, my man. Chat, let's get some love for Further Win on this way out. Says he never wants to see another goddamn chart ever again in his goddamn life, man. I don't blame.
I mean, it is like, if you could sit back and just collect the dividends, that would be so much better than.
That's the goal. That's the end goal. Yeah.
Because being on the West Coast, man, that's 6:30. Like trading at 6:30, and then doing the PP show at night. And
that's rough.
They're long days, and just sitting back and collecting the divvies would be nice.
IEP. I don't know why you don't have a bag of it, man. Guys.
All I have is some underwater freaking GMA calls. So,
well, let's hope we can turn them into a couple thousand and get you some IEP.
Yeah.
Michael, closing thoughts. What would you like good people at home to know before we get together again on a Wednesday night? Let's hear it for the good people at home tuning in tonight. We got over 700 plus tuning in on YouTube tonight. Total across all platforms, over 5,000 people tuning in the PP Show tonight. What would you like good people at home to know, Michael? Let's hear it.
It's the greatest time to be alive, and I just see a lot of big things happening. I think I just did a post on G America on what I think Teddy is and stuff, and I don't know, it just gets me so pumped. I think that like founders are making some awesome, like an awesome future, and we get to be part of it. So love you all, love being part of this, and talk to you all later.
All right, cool. You heard it from Michael. Chat, let's get some love for Michael on his way out. Take care, Michael. There you have it, man. The fucking PP Show. We got together. We talked some DD. Hell, even the fellas showed up tonight to lend their opinion here this evening. I got to say it was a good ass time. So with that being said, appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you watch or donate, whatever it may be, man. Appreciate you guys tuning into the show tonight. Again, I think there's a lot of stuff that are kind of unfolding here. One specific docket we forgot to cover here tonight was that some dates have been pushed to, I believe, the last court date on the 26th of November. So keep that in mind. We'll take a look at it Wednesday night here at the show. We'll catch up on some of those dockets that we missed. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of the night. Appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you watch or donate, whatever it may be. Appreciate you guys supporting the PP Show, man. So with that being said, enjoy the dildo slap on the way out, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday, our normal scheduled time at 7 p.m. CT. Love you all. We'll see you guys then. Peace.